Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you all here today on this momentous occasion for our company. I'm going to invite Joanna, who's the Vice President of FCA, to come and say a few words. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joanna Ossinger. I'm a Global Markets Editor at Bloomberg News and the Vice President of the Singapore Foreign Correspondents Association, and would just like to welcome all the members of the FCA who are here tonight and all the distinguished other guests who are here. And just want to welcome Erin Oliveira, the founder of Earth 300, up to the stage for what I saw the earlier one. It's a really fascinating presentation. So you're in for a treat. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming this evening. It's very nice to have you here. It's, first of all, I want to give thanks to the Singapore government. It's done an incredible job in keeping us safe, in these hard times. I'd also like to thank the Fullerton Hotel for incredible assistance with setting this up. Again, with COVID, nothing is easy, so these guys have been amazing. Also, the menu is done by Fullerton Farms. They've got their own sustainable garden, so that's great. And also, definitely, our printing partners, sustainable printing partners, Print Lab. These guys are the Navy SEALs of printing. I mean, they've been up since last night, putting up these installations. They're really incredible. So thank you all for coming. And for those of you who are Avengers fans, this is not Iron Man's boat. Yeah. Now, our planet is changing physically, economically, and socially. We're living at a pivotal moment in human history where we're facing the greatest challenge to humanity, climate change, one from which we cannot self-isolate. Now, the good news is that humankind is built for bold and ready to step up with far-reaching and bold innovative solutions. For the first time in history, we have access to the talents, the tools, and the technology to address any significant challenge. Think about how far we've come. We've got access to exponential technologies on our fingertips, so the greatest collaborative and cooperative effort in history is both possible and realistic. Now, back in 2015, I was in the Maldives developing a luxury resort. And I went for a dive and I saw dead corals, beautiful white skeletons. And I asked, why this was so. And I was told that essentially with over-acidification and heating, the corals were dying. And so I immersed myself in the topic. I realized that, the world did not need another resort. And I said to myself, this makes no sense. The planet is not headed into a good direction. I started learning about the oceans and the value that they have and the fact that they regulate everything from crops to climate to every single breath we take. I learned that majestic creatures like whales and crocodiles and elephants are ecosystem engineers whose functions transcend the ecosystems that house them. And so I immersed myself in the topic and I started learning about environmental initiatives, and I realized that there were no environmental initiatives that were really known by the mainstream. It's not something that was visible to the mainstream. And again, a bit later on, I was in Monaco at the Oceanographic Museum where Jacques Cousteau was a director. And again, the Oceanographic Museum is one of the most beautiful buildings in the world. It's a narrow building that sits on a cliff edge. It's 100 meter long and 20 meter wide, overlooking the Mediterranean Ocean. And when I was in there, I started thinking, how great would it be, if we could inspire a global renaissance and bring together the smartest and the latest and greatest architects and artists and inventors and scientists of the day. And I thought about, imagine if you had, for example, Da Vinci and Dalí, Galileo and Cousteau, Newton, Columbus and Einstein in one room together, having coffee or cognac, and with access to a level of technology that is unparalleled, or would have been unparalleled in the day or even 20 years ago, but very possible today. And so I thought about whether we could actually gaze people's attention on a global scale on an object that would represent the best that sustainability and science and conservation has to offer. And so the idea was to build an object that would be universally recognized as an emblem for sustainability. And so a little later on, I sat down with my designer in Barcelona, Ivan Salas Jefferson from Ides Yachts. And I said to him, look, we need to capture the attention of the world on a global scale. And I said, I want you to design design an object that is the most recognizable, most dramatic, most impactful, and most iconic object in modern human history. Okay? Now, if you look at the vessel, from the front, it looks very different to the behind of the vessel. So, and this was kind of the idea. I wanted it designed as something that could kind of morph and shapeshift as you looked at it from different angles. Because, you know, Francis Bacon said that wonder is the seed of knowledge. And only when people are wanderers can they really take in new information. When you're in a state of wonder, you're in a state of awe, and you have a tabula rasa. So you're learning as if you were a child, right? And so that is the idea. So if you look at the vessel here on the right side, it's got a very masculine front, you know, very sharp front, and also a very soft posterior where we house the scientific laboratory. So in the posterior, we have 22 state-of-the-art scientific laboratories ranging from weather visualization labs to 3D printing labs, chemical processing, advanced diagnostics, and BSL-3 labs, you know, which can handle COVID. So BSL-3 is biosafety level 3. BSL-4, you go into Ebola. We will not touch Ebola for obvious reasons, but this will be a laboratory where there's going to be a lot of solutions being brought to market. Then the front part of the vessel is the area where we have the what we call the VIP suites, which we are reframing it to what that stands for, which is very inspiring people suites. Why do we reframe it? Because the reason you become important is because you do something of accomplishment and you're acknowledged. But what about all of those unsung heroes and unknowns, you know, the inspiring people who we don't know, who never get a chance to be recognized? So those 20 VIP suites at the back, will have 10 that are leased out to private citizens, and the other 10 we invite individuals who are remarkable, inspiring, and deserving, and they come on a complimentary basis on the vessel. So that's the idea. Then all of the research being done on the vessel is going to be open to the world. So scientists from all across the world will have access to an open platform, and all of the research that we're doing is open in real time. This is one of the reasons why a lot of things don't get done, because research is not shared. So we want to galvanize and change the way things are done here. Then we'll also have on board the vessel not only the 160 scientists, where we're taking a systemic approach to thinking, and we're having marine, land, air, and space scientists, but we're also having experts in residence from different walks of life. So we will have entrepreneurs and economists, engineers and artists, filmmakers and journalists, all coming together, feeding different ideas, and that's really when you make change happen. Sometimes the best ideas come from outside the industries. Neri Oxman said it really well, you know, from the MIT Media Lab at MIT. She said, you know, you don't solve the climate crisis with a PhD in thermodynamics. And then, of course, the students. We're going to have 20 students on board that are all invited democratically, irrespective of creed or country or income bracket. And students will be the ones, you know, the Gen Zs and the I generation, who have been born into a generation of iPads and iPhones. And they are the ones who will be needing to lead us bravely into the future. So we are going to incorporate also students within the inside. And then, of course, the interiors of the vessel will be designed to inspire awe and wonder. So we want this vessel to be a platform that fuels and fosters iconoclastic thinking, and a vessel that becomes eventually the benchmark and the birthplace of the world's most wonderful ideas. And that's really been the whole idea of the vessel, a place where people can come and dream and dare, and we give them the tools and resources to make this happen. Now, the propulsion, I'll talk about how we are powered if we're talking about sustainability. So the only technology that we are pursuing now is the only one that is providing true 100% emission-free, and that energy is atomic. But new advanced atomic, with a technology called the molten salt reactor, which is something that Bill Gates has been developing with TerraPower in the US for the last 12 years. Now, together with a consortium of 8 other companies, which are all of them except one, are US multi-billion-dollar companies like Bechtel, Orano, and 3M, but one of them is called CoPower, and their relationship in the consortium is they are commercializing and promoting this technology for maritime. So we're working together with them to decarbonize the entire maritime segment, and also those industries that are also connected to the maritime segment. Okay? So then in closing, I'd just like to say that our ultimate goal is really to ring the climate alarm on a global scale and inspire a new brand of planetary vanguard. Ethical leaders who will come up and develop a new vision, a new economic vision that incorporates the environments and our ecology, and are able to ensure that both are being merged symbiotically, where we move towards a smart infrastructure revolution and post-carbon economy. So we believe the future of our planet is going to be written together. We would like to humbly call out all of those out there, scientists, students, explorers, investors, leaders, to participate and join us in becoming founders and makers of the modern world to ensure the survival of humanity for generations to come. So that's a little bit about the project. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks.
Hello, from the shores of Southern California, second only to the beauty of Lazarus and Sentosa Island beaches. My name is Damien Leloup, and my love for the ocean started when as a child I discovered the joy of the underwater world of the Cap d'Antibes in the south of France. My background on a global advisory level in the environmental world spans 3 decades, starting with expeditions with Jacques Cousteau on board his iconic ship Calypso, and most recently on the board of directors of the Explorers Club, I helped contribute to lowering our explorers' carbon footprint. Jacques Cousteau romanticized the ocean and created a new brand of explorers who cared and campaigned for the oceans. His motto was, "People protect what they love." Still true today, let's protect the world we love. The basic chemistry of our air is changing. Plants and animals are going extinct 100 times faster than 1,000 years ago. A global pandemic has made the world realize that our environment, our health systems, and our economies are all interconnected. Let's use this ongoing tragedy to do good. We need to feed ourselves without emptying our oceans, destroying our ecosystems, or diminishing our natural resources. We must run a global carbon neutral economy. The United Nations has embraced a systematic use of ocean science to save our oceans. In a world where sea level rise will be the new norm, I cannot think of a better ambassador than Earth 300, a futuristic ship carrying scientists in a worldwide multidisciplinary expeditions sailing across our blue planet to tackle 3 main issues: global warming, overexploitation, and pollution. The future of humanity lies behind ambitious new projects like this one. Earth 300 is a vision for the next 300 years. Similar to Jacques Cousteau's Calypso, which was a scientific and poetic way to invite the world to protect what they love, Earth 300 will tackle today's environmental issues from pole to pole. Together at sea, we will bring timely, efficient solutions to devastating issues that will enable Earth 300 to become a globally known messenger. As Aaron, the man behind the concept of this project, put it, think of Earth 300 as the space eggs for the Earth. Allow people to dream again, to dare and to rise up to the greatest challenges facing humanity. An international team, an unmistakable ship design combined with the artificial intelligence of things. Let's reconcile our technosphere with our biosphere. I hope Earth 300 can do that. Thank you.
Today is a very important day for Earth 300, but it's also a very important day for everybody that has worked hard and put their hearts into reaching this stage of the project, where we can proudly present the results of our work and our mission with you all. The oceans are dying, it's a fact. The weather's changing. It's now the right time to reboot, reconnect, and redirect the destiny of our planet. I met Aaron in 2017 in a small village in northern Sweden. It was then that he explained his vision to create the ultimate vessel, a vessel that will unite science and exploration to confront face to face Earth's greatest challenges and solve these. As a naval architect, this was like listening to the perfect symphony. It was like a dream come true. After 2 decades in the superyacht industry, it was the first time that somebody approached us with such a morally correct foundation. The vessel had to be packed with extreme technology. It had to carry the most advanced underwater vehicles to take everybody to the most remote, uncharted depths of our oceans. Shortly after that, Aaron started to visit Barcelona frequently. What once was the inspiration for Gaudí and Picasso was now becoming the headquarters for the design team of Earth 300. Aaron had a very clear idea of what he wanted. He wanted the vessel to be completely different, to look completely foreign. He wanted the vessel to be designed very minimalistic, very simple. He had the vision to have a geodesic dome in the aft to promote science. As a studio, we started to work night and day to develop what we see here today. We wanted the sphere to inspire whoever looks at it to protect the planet. When somebody walked inside the sphere, which now was housing all the science laboratories, we wanted them to be inspired to become the next alchemist, to find the next cure. As somebody walks through the vessel, we wanted them to engage by the ongoing expeditions and operations to go ahead and discover and learn and to explore. Now, as the design officers of Earth 300, our role and mission continues to design and build the ultimate vessel to elevate everybody's minds. For that purpose, we need all the unity and support we can get. Earth is our only planet and we must protect it.
Good evening, everyone. This is an exciting time to be launching this project, and we're thrilled to be part of it. Earth 300 perfectly embodies both the challenge and the spirit of what we have to achieve over the next decades. The climate tub is filling up fast. Not only do we need to slow that to a trickle, but we need to stop it entirely. Eventually, reduce the pollution we've already caused. That challenge actually is for our industries and our ships to abandon combustion, and that means a new energy system. Like Aaron and his team, we believe that it's one based on advanced new atomic technologies that are millions of times more energy efficient than fossil fuels. One that's both economically and environmentally sustainable and does not pollute the environment at all. And what better demonstration of the value of that is there than Earth 300? Change, the large, meaningful kind, is often a paradoxical experience. Inevitably, it takes decades, often generations. Yet, just as inevitably, it feels very fast when it comes. We now stand at the dawn of that new era, and to the crew of Earth 300, from all of us at Core Power in London, congratulations and well done.
Good evening. I'm Paolo Moretti, CEO of Arena Services. Technology innovation has never been faster, but it needs to build on solid grounds. The painting you see behind me is the Rex, a ship that Rena classed in 1932 and in 1933 won the Blue Ribbon, establishing the time record in the westbound crossing of the Atlantic. We are a classification society. That is why we are determined to support the project Earth 300 at our best, making sure that the innovation it takes in terms of design and performance is safe. We might have a very long history, but RENA isn't new to ambitious projects. We are currently contributing to the development of the first liquefied natural gas cruise ships. We are working on several R&D projects, in particular on new fuels, hydrogen, ammonia, that will help us to minimize the impact of shipping in the future and to reach the ambitious targets set by IMO and by the Paris Agreement of being fully decarbonized and zero emission by the end of this century. The Earth 300 initiative is a game changer in scientific research at sea, and we will bring to it all the competencies that we have, from the material selection, the design, new technologies for the propulsion, always with the aim to reduce the carbon footprint and the environmental impact of this important project. Together, we will bring this revolutionary project to life and grasp the opportunity to give ourselves and the planet a better chance. Thank you very much.
Hi, my name is Dr. Beverly Goodman, and I'm really excited to talk to you today about Project Earth 300 to be part of this launching party. As a scientist, this is one of the most exciting projects I've heard about in a very, very long time. I think what it really understands is that we as scientists are so frustrated. We spend so much of our time doing things that have nothing to do with solving the world's problems. There's a lot of things that get in our way. There is bureaucracy, there is funding, there are traveling internationally, you name it. There's all kinds of reasons that we don't actually accomplish as much as we want to. And Earth 300 is taking this incredible idea of let's take the scientists, let's take the minds, let's take the equipment, let's take the instruments, let's give them everything they need to do the things that they really want to be doing so that they can solve the critical questions, so they can take the risks, that you can do it without all of those restrictions that exist. And I think it is one of the most phenomenal and exciting and ambitious concepts that I've heard about in a very, very long time. I'm so excited that I've been approached to be a part of this, and I'm certainly waiting with a bated breath to see it live and in action. I think that it is a concept that is both anchored in a long tradition of exploration and a long tradition of understanding the need to create the kind of environment and surroundings to make ideas become reality, as well as something that's incredibly futuristic and understanding that we are really at a crossroads in terms of our relationship with the planet. Earth 300 is a phenomenal vision, and I can't wait to see it come into existence.
Hi, I'm Casimir, a former Green School student and a current ethics and politics major at Bard College and Sciences Po. Although I cannot speak for an entire generation tonight, I do hope to offer some perspective from the 1 in a billion who stands to deal with the consequences of human-induced climate change. In 2000, the atmospheric chemist Paul Crutzen described the current geological epoch as dominated by human influence and named it the Anthropocene. Now, geologists only formally adopted the term 16 years later, and today, denial and resistance to the facts are still prevalent. We must therefore facilitate a deeper cultural understanding of our relationship with the planet. Traveling by foot first gave our ancestors a connection to the land, when the human species migrated step by step at a time in the pursuit of the flora and fauna that sustained us. And then we leapt and started faring the seas, and created our connection to the waters. These journeys, though, would also mark the planet with many paths of our longings. What Earth 300 proposes, very convincingly and remarkably, is to conjugate the biosphere and the technosphere in addressing the political and philosophical problems of human-induced climate change practically. The language Earth 300 invokes to do so is no less inspiring. Global systems thinking and the empowerment of scientists to not only conduct progressive interdisciplinary research in a collaborative environment, but also to fundamentally share their discoveries on an open source platform in real time. This is extremely important if we are to preserve our species and restore our impact on the Earth systems. As Wangari Maathai succinctly put it, recognizing that sustainable development, democracy, and peace are indivisible is an idea whose time has come. We are singular in that we are creatures of choice, and so it really is up to us to decide what meaningful and mindful actions we should take. In a world with rising sea levels, Earth 300 invites us to rise as well. And I admire you for that, and thank you for the passionate call to action.
My name is Dominique Rosolo, and I'm a research scientist at the Qualcomm Institute at the University of California, San Diego. I have worked with a number of agencies and organizations to coordinate and conduct oceanographic surveys around the world. And I serve on the Ocean Exploration Advisory Board of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. Here in our immersive visualization labs on campus, we work with scientists to analyze marine environments via multimodal and multiscalar digital twins, like this dense point cloud of a coral reef. Here we can observe, detect, annotate, and model in ways that have led to new insights and breakthroughs in the world of marine ecology. We don't shy away from big and bold ideas, particularly when they involve experience and understanding our planet in big and bold new ways. When I first met Aaron here in our lab in 2016, we were both getting started on our new adventures, and we've been building momentum together ever since. For me, Earth 300 represents a departure from looking at our planet and ourselves from a familiar perspective. Indeed, familiar ways of seeing the world have left so much invisible to our hearts and to our minds. Fiat Lux, Earth 300, let there be light.
Good day. I am Matteo Atti, the Global Head of Marketing and Innovation at VistaJet. It's a bit rainy here in London, but it's a great day for the world as we celebrate the launch of Earth 300. The aviation industry is maybe not the first that comes to mind when you think about solving climate change. Every area of human activity has an impact on the environment. And as a tool for business development and private travel, business jets contribute to 0.04% to global emissions. Nonetheless, as the largest group in private aviation, we want VistaJet to be an agent for innovation. Although we might have to wait years for electric and hydrogen jet engines to be available, we are working to see change now. We are welcoming the newest, most sustainable aircraft to our fleet to maximize efficiency. 90% of our clients compensate their fuel carbon emissions with South Pole, climate change pioneers. We provide worldwide access to sustainable aviation fuels through Sky Energy, a solution that can reduce emissions by up to 80%. And investing in AI, our predictive algorithms are optimizing flight routes and fleet management to directly reduce fuel consumption by 8%. Finally, as an official EBAA sustainability ambassador, we pushed other major players to follow our lead while we wait for regulators to take even stronger action. So why VistaJet and Earth 300? Like all of you here today, the moment we met the founder, we knew this project had an incredible potential. As we learned about the vision and heard about every detailed component of it, it became obvious that Earth 300 could be the most compelling, ambitious, and unique opportunity to power up science, securing its place at the center of the future for all humanity. We have no doubt Earth 300 can produce transformative science on a global scale. We are here to support Earth 300 by involving the world leaders flying with VistaJet to adopt a sustainable mindset and invest in transformative projects to benefit our global community. They say business cannot wait, but business needs the world. We believe in change, and VistaJet believes in Earth 300. Have a good day.
Hi, my name is Nick. I'm the founder and managing partner at Spin Ventures. I've always been inspired by the concept of upcycling, where someone sees waste, someone sees the opportunity to create value. We are on a mission to accelerate the transition towards a circular economy. We have invested into a group of companies that can help us and accelerate that transition from the collections of plastic and other materials to the transformation, the design, and the manufacturing of beautiful products. We have set up Waste or Wonder with a mission to take all of the waste from music and sport events and turn them into products. When we met Earth 300 team, we were immediately impressed by their mission and their desire for action. Aaron and the team challenged us to transform the world's plastic waste into beautiful products, interiors, furniture, and the piping of the boat itself, all while saving tons of plastic from the landfills and the oceans. The first project we're going to work on together is to transform all of Singapore's school waste into products. It's not waste, It's an opportunity to create wonder. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Federico. I am Italian, officially, although I've been in Singapore now for quite a while. And thank you, Aaron, for the wonderful evening, but also for having me here tonight to share my ideas of what I see this project and how I see this project changing the way I do science in the next few years. I am a microbial ecologist. I study microbes in the ocean. In every milliliter of water, there's millions of microbes and tens of millions of viruses. And they do nothing to you. They're not like COVID. They just do their thing. Except their thing is they capture a lot of the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. They produce more than half of the oxygen you're breathing today. Imagine only having the capacity to take half of the breath you're taking now. It wouldn't feel very well, right? It would be quite bad. So microbes are important. They're also the basis of the food chain. You would have no fish in the ocean without the microbes in the ocean. And yet, most of you in this room probably didn't know this because you don't see them. Earth 300 is going to change this by actually partnering people like me with communicators, with artists, with musicians, with people who can actually make films about it, with people who can actually translate what I say with funny words as a scientist for normal people who actually have not done science during their lives. And this is why it's really important. The other very, very important thing is I'm also an avid explorer. I've actually been twice to Antarctica. I've done 25,000 miles of open ocean crossings. And the hardest part when you do an open ocean crossing on a sailboat is not preparing for a fire or the fact that your mast falls down or the fact that you're going into a storm. Those are things where you can always have plan B and plan C. The hardest part is actually planning for your resources. It's actually starting and say, I'm going to be with 6 people at sea for 40 days, and I need so much food and so much water so that people can eat and drink. And this is where, as humanity on ship planet Earth, we've done really badly. Okay? We're not planning at all, and things are going to go wrong. Earth 300 is our way, it's our wake-up call, and it will actually change this. I do believe that Earth 300 will bring together scientists like myself who have brilliant ideas on how to change this, with people who can fund those ideas, with people who can then change those ideas into products that can change the way we live, and people who can actually market and actually get those products to humanity for the future of humanity. That's what I believe Earth 300 is, and I'm very proud of being part of it. Thank you very much.
It's a great pleasure to be here this evening. It's been fantastic over this journey of a year or more being an advisor for the Earth 300 project. We've really, as myself as an advisor, looking at the technology and the security that goes into this vessel, this is really an amazing opportunity to harness technology that we have today, and more importantly, planning for the technology that's not quite just here yet, because if you're truly going to succeed in this world, you need to have that vision to look ahead at the technology that's coming. Now, Aaron mentioned it just briefly a little bit earlier there with quantum computing. For those people that haven't Googled or looked into quantum computing, you need to look into that because it's really going to change the world. As big as the internet was us, back in the 90s and now as it is today, quantum computing will be that next leap. And quantum is one of the key strategies and compute components that we will have on Earth 300 that can make, dreams into real sort of reality that we've never sort of seen before. And harnessing the technologies of IoT, harnessing the technologies of high performance computing, harnessing the power of big data. We talk a lot about big data, but big data is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We've gone from petabytes, we're now going through to exabytes, we're going through to zettabytes. So Earth 300 will be almost that mobile library of Earth's entire knowledge. And that's the vision that I shared with Aaron earlier. I said, this should be the portable, and remember those libraries that used to go around on trucks, right? But this will be Earth's knowledge library that will be at sea, collecting this data and processing this data. to be shared around the world. And so I'm tremendously proud to be part of this project. And I hope you all join with us in whichever capacity you can, because the world is changing, right? Really, we are really at this inflection point now. We make a decision to make it different, or we will all suffer the consequences because what's happening on Earth. And I know you've seen that a million times, but it's really true. And so with that, I just really want to thank you all this evening for being here. Thank Aaron for being part of your advisory group. I look forward to amazing things that happen in future, and have yourself a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
So, distinguished guests, thank you very much, Aaron, for having me here, and all of you. I'm between you and dessert. Make it quick. So, I'm Jonathan. I'm the Executive Chairman of the Singapore Space and Technology Limited. So, let me just get straight to it. When Aaron first spoke to me about this, more than a year ago, I mean, to be quite honest, there's not many things, I mean, we're from the space sector, so there are not many things that really makes you say, wow, but, this is one of those moments. And then we're just staring at each other and thinking in the office, and then I said, what do you want me to do, right? Because you want to build a ship, and, if you're going to the moon, you call me, but otherwise... I think it got to the point where a lot of the things that we do actually parallel a lot of things that I think Earth 300 and the whole mission entails. So a little bit about what SSTL does. We help to coordinate all the space activities in Singapore. I mean, that includes various industry programs, R&D efforts, outreach, and so on and so forth. And all that technology has a lot of spin-offs, right? And all those spin-offs are typically very terrestrial driven. We look at how we are going to moon, Mars, and all that, and a lot of those cutting edge technology actually diffuses back to what we're doing today. And I mean, if you honestly want to sustain yourself on moon and Mars, first you have to sustain yourself quite well here on Mother Earth. And I think that's what the whole Earth 300 effort is about. And I think on our end, our goal is to help to look at the technologies, help to build those verticals. I mean, it's a lot of deep tech areas. We talked about an accelerator just now, and this is an area that we also would try our best to bring to the table, as we run accelerators for space companies. But these space companies tend to also support a variety of environmental monitoring programs, crisis, disaster relief management, humanitarian assistance programs. And all this is led by satellite technology, right? Satellite technology now actually combats climate change, for example. You can detect a lot of emissions, you can see before, after scenarios. It also supports a lot of environmental crisis management as well, right? So this is where all these areas are very relevant, I think, to the sector, and many of these pillars that we're talking about. And finally, of course, this is very cutting edge technology. And I mean, at least in the industry that I'm in, and again, with all of you here and many of the distinguished advisors and company that we are keeping tonight, it cuts across many smart folks, again, all of you here today. So really looking forward to this partnership, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very much, Aaron and Frida, for inviting me. I am Victoria Alonso Perez. I am a United Nations Young Leader for the Sustainable Development Goals, and I am also the founder of ChipSafer. That is a platform where we can track livestock remotely and autonomously. Our mission is to improve the safety, the welfare, and the security of livestock herds while lowering the environmental impact for farmers and providing active traceability across the whole life cycle of the animal. I started the company in Uruguay, and then last year I moved the headquarters to Singapore. And now we are very excited and honored to have been accepted into the accelerator program from E300. I think that the program is great because it provides a unique opportunity for entrepreneurs to visit different parts of the world and really understand the problems, really be there and understand what is going on. And then with all the technologies, such as we heard before, such as quantum technology, we can then create the best solution to the problem. What we want to do is we would love to leverage all the technologies available at E300 and work on creating solutions to that can have an impact, protecting biodiversity and conserving the ecosystem. And we're also very excited about meeting the other startups and about the collaboration opportunities that there can be in this very one-of-a-kind program. Thank you very much.